Jason Moore here at Guitar Solo Dojo. I'm going to talk a little bit about economy picking and a couple different ways where you can use it to your advantage. You can use it all over, and when you're soloing, when you're doing whatever you want to do, it opens up a lot of doors for what you can do, so it's a very good technique to learn. Let's talk about the fundamentals of it. It's just basically sweep picking, where you're just covering more than one string with one direction. So if I mute out all the strings and I just strum, that's what I get. This is essentially a really fast sweep pick or economy picking, doing all 6 strings. If I slow this down just a little bit, slow down that strum, keep slowing it down, and I just let that pick fall to the next string, whether I'm going down or up, it's essentially the motion of a sweep pick or an economy pick. And the idea is I'm really wanting to avoid 6 separate motions as I do this. And the slower you go, the more difficult that it is. It's really easy to go like that, but it's much more difficult to keep this in time, especially. So that's what you, number one, want to think about. And the best way to think about it as you're practicing this slow is just, okay, I'm going to hit this string and let it fall to the next string. I'm just going to let it rest there. I don't need to do anything with it. That's setting you up to fall to the next string and fall to the next string. And that also teaches your hand not to pause and then reset and then do another downstroke, because that's what we're trying to avoid. So if I turn on the metronome, in just a second here, we're going to do an exercise, and we're just going to pick 2 strings. I'll pick the 2 center strings, so the D and the G string. I'm going to just do a downstroke on the D, and I'm going to sweep to the G string, and then I'm going to hit the G string with an upstroke. So it's a very simple thing. Doesn't mean it's easy to do in time. So I'm going to go down, sweep to the G, and then up. So the whole pattern looks like this. And that's it. Very simple idea. And I like to use mutes because mutes completely expose any rhythmic flaws that you have. If you use just regular notes to do this, it'll kind of fill in the gaps and you won't be able to tell if you're doing super precision work. So if I turn on the metronome here and I play that simple pattern, I'll start with 8th notes. So I'm just going to go 2 notes per beat. So and it's very slow, but I'm still trying to keep that idea of letting that pick fall to the string and letting it go through the next string. I'm not holding it up in the middle. That's what we're trying to avoid once again. So now I'll take that same thing, and I can go from 8th notes to go to triplets. And a real test, if you have it, is to go to 16th notes, which gets kind of confusing because we have a 3-note pattern and a 4-note rhythm, so it'll sound like this. But as you start to build up to that speed, you can really start to see that I have a single stroke down and then 1 stroke up. So I'm hitting 3 notes, but only plucking twice, basically, right? So I got, and that's the idea, create efficiency. So after we get done doing that, we take all that same stuff and then we reverse it and do the upstroke, which for I would say 99% of the guitar planet is way more difficult. There's a few people out there that find the upstroke sweep actually easier. I'm not one of them, but we want to practice that as well because you're going to utilize that. So we're going to go up, up, down. And it doesn't have to be these 2 strings. It could be any strings that you want it to. We can go up, down. Same exact idea, just reversing the order. And from there, you can take it anywhere you want to. You can do any kind of number of exercises. Just make sure you're focusing on timing. Timing is everything on this, much like most music. Anyway, so good example. If we take the solo of Sultans of Swing, which, as you probably know, Mark Knopfler doesn't use a pick, at least for this song. I don't think he really ever used a pick. But we have this line. Right, cool little line. It's just over this D minor to the B flat to the C, and he's just playing these D minor and then a B flat and then a C arpeggio. Well, we could do that same thing if you're more of a pick player. We could take this idea, this little 3-note lick, or 4-note lick, I guess, and we're just going to do this as an economy pick. So we'll go upstroke on the 1st note, then pull off, and then we're going to hit the B string, and then sweep down to the high E. So it looks like this. You do the same thing on the B flat. if you're watching my right hand, you know it's very, very efficient. I'll go purposely faster than the song. But it makes very, very easy work for the right hand. Anyway, a couple little things for you to work on economy picking, and we will be touching on that a lot more later. So go practice that. Have fun.